Girl on the track. The autumn wind bit at Mia's cheeks as she rounded the final bend of the cinder track. It was 2 p.m., and all the other athletes had left hours ago, their fancy cars pulling out of the car park, their laughter fading into the gray sky. Only Mia was still there, lap after lap, her breath coming in white clouds, her old scuffed spikes tapping rhythmically against the rough ground. At Inambulas, Mia was the smallest runner at the club and the poorest. She lived in a tiny stone cottage on the edge of the Lake District. Just her and her mom. Her mom worked 2 jobs: cleaner in the mornings, dinner lady in the afternoons, just to pay the rent and put food on the table. They never had extra money for nice things, but Mia had running. That was hers, and hers alone. But no one ever let her forget what she didn't have. The other girls at the club wore brand new matching kits, custom spikes, and had parents who paid for private coaches and nutrition plans. Mia's vest was 3 years old, faded from bright blue to pale lilac, the logo peeling off at the edges. Her spikes were hand-me-downs from her cousin, 2 sizes too big, so she stuffed the toes with toilet roll to stop her feet slipping. They'd snicker when she walked past. Look at her shoes. How's she supposed to run fast in those? She's too tiny anyway. Proper athletes aren't built like that. Even her coach, Mr. Harris, never believed in her. When she told him she wanted to enter the county championships the following spring, he'd shaken his head with a soft, pitying laugh. Mia, be realistic. You're steady. Yeah, but you're not championship material. The girls you'll be up against train full-time. You've got no pace, no proper gear. Save your entry fee. Yeah, you'll only embarrass yourself. That hurt more than any name they called her, because Mia knew running wasn't just a hobby. It was the only place she didn't feel small. The only place she didn't worry about the electricity bill or the hole in her school jumper. When she ran, she felt free. She dreamed of winning a sports scholarship to university, of earning enough to buy her mom a house with a garden, of never having to count pennies again. But lately, those dreams felt further away than ever. The low point came at the interclub meet in November. It was pouring rain, the track thick with mud, and Mia was running the 800 meters, her best distance. For the first lap, she kept up with the leaders, her legs flying, her heart pounding. Halfway through the second lap, she pulled into second place, just behind Chloe, the club's golden girl who had everything going for her. Then suddenly, her left spike came loose. The wet toilet roll stuffing had slipped out, and her foot slid around inside the shoe. She stumbled, staggered, and crashed face first into the mud. The whole grandstand laughed. She heard Chloe snort loud and clear. Told you she was useless. Mia's face burned so hot she thought she'd scream. She scrambled up, ran the rest of the way, dead last. And as soon as she crossed the line, she ran off the track, away from everyone, all the way to the old apple orchard at the edge of town. The gnarled trees had stood there for hundreds of years, their branches heavy with small, sour fruit. And it was the only place she ever went when she wanted to be alone. She sat down under the biggest tree, mud caked on her legs, her shoe broken, and let the tears come. What was the point? Everyone was right. She was just a poor girl with old shoes, no talent, no future. She'd never be good enough. She might as well quit, save herself the embarrassment. As she wiped her eyes, she noticed something carved into the bark right in front of her. It was worn smooth by time and rain, but she could read it clearly. Great oaks from little acorns grow. She stared at the words. Her mom used to say that to her when she was little and sad because she didn't have new toys or nice clothes like the other kids. Don't look at what you haven't got, love. Look at what you can grow into. She thought of all the mornings she got up at 5 a.m. to run before school, when it was still dark and so cold her lungs burned. She thought of all the extra laps she did when everyone else went home to warm dinners and cozy houses. She thought of her mom, working 12-hour days, never complaining, just smiling and saying, "We're doing okay, aren't we?" Motivation wasn't about having nice things or people telling you you're great. It was about having something to fight for. It was about getting up even when you fell, even when everyone laughed. She stood up, wiped the mud off her trousers, and tied her broken shoe as tight as she could with a piece of string from her pocket. The sun was setting now, painting the sky pink and gold over the rolling mountains, the old stone cottages of the village glowing warm in the twilight. She looked back towards the track, and for the first time in months, she didn't feel small. She felt fire. "Okay," she whispered to the wind, to the tree, to herself. "You think I'm not good enough? I'll show you." From that day on, she trained harder than ever. She didn't care what anyone said. She saved every penny. Birthday money, cash from helping neighbors walk their dogs and carry shopping, until she could afford a second-hand pair of spikes that actually fit. She ran up the steep hills behind her house, did sprints until her legs burned, and studied running technique from tattered library books. She was going to prove them all wrong. But then, 2 months before the county championships, disaster struck. She was coming down a steep path one evening when a foot caught on a route and her ankle twisted sharply. A searing pain shot up her leg so bad she screamed. She crumpled to the ground, unable to move, unable to put any weight on it. The doctor's words played over and over in her that night. "Bad stress fracture. You'll have to stop running for at least 3 months, maybe longer. If you push it too hard, you might never run properly again." Mia lay in bed, her ankle wrapped in thick bandages, her dreams slipping through her fingers like sand. Was this it? After everything, would she never get the chance to show them what she could do?